Northern Ontario's Great Canadian Shield. From the pristine international waters of Lake of the Woods to the rugged contours of the world's greatest lake, extracting rich treasures from ancient stone.
This is the largest gemstone mine in North America.
The tasty cultural legacy of Finnish immigration.
Thunder Bay is home to about 100 years of history of Finns.
And thousands of years of civilization celebrated along these shores.
And I think it's important for the Anishinaabe people that land never does get developed.
Now, we trace the secrets of the world's longest undefended border. More than 6,000 kilometers of rugged American frontier. Canada, over the edge. At the southeastern boundary of the province of Manitoba, the 49th parallel ceases to mark the Canada-US divide. Heading east, we enter the Northwest Angle, a rare American exclave along this international frontier. The Northwest Angle is a tiny corner of America, separated from the rest of America, and it happened by accident. In 1783, Benjamin Franklin and British surveyors determined the U.S. border should extend to the northwest extremity of the Lake of the Woods. But they didn't realize the sheer size of the lake. Their decision meant this small parcel of land, connected only to the Canadian province of Manitoba, would be an isolated section of the United States. The Northwest Angle and its community of Angle Inlet is home to just over 100 people. It is so remote, there is no guarded border station. Visitors coming and going report to a tiny shack with a video phone linked to customs agents in Warroad, Minnesota, some 60 kilometers away. Finally, north of Angle Inlet, we reach the northernmost point in the contiguous United States. Five kilometers east of Angle Inlet, Fort St. Charles sits on the Canada-US divide. But this fort predates the international boundary. It is a testament to the earliest European explorers in the region. Fort St. Charles is a reconstruction of the fort built by the French-Canadian explorer La Vérendrye in 1732. La Vérendrye and his 4 sons led a bold excursion west, establishing trading posts for New France as far west as the Rocky Mountain foothills, on a quest to reach the Great Western Sea. Heading southeast, we cross the border into Canada and the province of Ontario. Here, we soar above the open waters of Lake of the Woods. The lake is enormous, measuring more than 100,000 kilometers of shoreline, holding more than 14,000 islands. It is a retreat for anglers and adventurers from both sides of the border. A truly remarkable landscape, much as it would have appeared to La Vérendrye nearly 300 years ago. "50 kilometers to the southeast, we reach Rainy River, an international waterway leading to the industrial border communities of Fort Frances, Ontario, and International Falls, Minnesota. Combined, the communities are home to roughly 15,000 people. They are linked by an international bridge and hydroelectric dam, providing renewable energy to both sides of the border. Fort Frances was the first European settlement west of Lake Superior, settled by the French-Canadian La Vérendrye on his way to Fort St. Charles. International Falls was settled around the same time. It was originally known as Couchiching, a First Nations word meaning at the place of inlets. In 1903, it was renamed. International Falls is one of the northernmost cities in the contiguous United States and has been called the icebox of the nation. To the east, the waters of Rainy River widen to form Rainy Lake. It measures 890 square kilometers of pristine international waters. The lake is also an important transportation corridor for boats and vehicles traveling the Trans-Canada Highway to points east and west. Southeast of Fort Frances, Ontario, and International Falls, Minnesota, Quitico Provincial Park lines the horizon. It is a massive wilderness area, measuring nearly 1.2 million acres. Some believe the name Quitico originates from the early French explorers heading west, with quête de la côte meaning search for the coast. The park lies adjacent to Minnesota's Superior National Forest to the south. Together, they are known as the Boundary Waters, accessible from Canada or the U.S. via the 600 lakes that line the horizon. Quitico is a true wilderness park, with no marked trails or defined campsites, attracting the most devoted outdoor enthusiasts. Further east, one remote chain of lakes leads to Pigeon River. This 50-kilometer-long waterway marks the international boundary between Ontario and Minnesota. The headwaters of the river also mark the Laurentian Divide, directing the flow of all rivers north to Hudson Bay and south to the Gulf of Mexico. For this reason, the Pigeon River was a crucial transportation corridor, part of the Voyageurs Highway, linking the rich fur trading territories of the West with the vast waters of Lake Superior. But the final 13 kilometers of the route required a great portage to avoid waterfalls and rapids. And here, just south of the Pigeon River's outflow into Lake Superior, stands Grand Portage National Monument. It preserves the legacy of the First Nations residents, French voyageurs, and coureurs de bois, or runners of the woods, who traveled east and west, bringing furs and other goods from the remote interior of North America. Heading northeast, we soar above Grand Portage State Park and Pigeon River Provincial Park, where low forested hills line the horizon. For more than 30 kilometers, this landscape remains largely untouched. But in the distance, the hills rise as we once again approach the shores of Lake Superior. The Northwestern Mountains run in a line just south of the city of Thunder Bay. They were formed during volcanic activity more than 1 billion years ago. Mount McKay is the largest mountain in the chain. It overlooks the city of Thunder Bay and is known as a sacred site for the local Ojibwe peoples. And just offshore, another rock formation marks the site of an ancient Ojibwe legend. Sleeping Giant Provincial Park resembles just what its name implies, a reclining giant on the spectacular Sibley Peninsula. The nearby city of Thunder Bay calls it their 50-million-ton mascot, and the Ojibwe call it Nanabiju, the spirit of the deep-sea water, who was turned to stone when the location of a secret silver mine was disclosed. Next, we sample the Finnish flavors of Thunder Bay and explore the vast geological wonders of Northern Ontario. The city of Thunder Bay is the largest community on Lake Superior. Its metropolitan area is home to more than 120,000 people, making it the second largest city in Northern Ontario. The modern city traces its origins to two settlements. Fort William was a French trading post established in 1803. Port Arthur was established some 50 years later with the construction of a road connecting to the Red River colony in the west. For decades, Fort William and Port Arthur survived on forestry and mining. In the 20th century, with the development of the port and railway, the settlements became a transportation hub, connecting Western Canadian grain with markets in the east. After years of heated rivalry, Fort William and Port Arthur merged in 1970 to become Thunder Bay. The city has drawn hardy residents from all over the world, with English, Irish, French, Ukrainian, and Italian heritage. But the city's most prevalent demographic are the Finns. More than 14,000 Thunder Bay residents are of Finnish heritage, the highest per capita population in Canada.
My name is Pasi Pinta, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Finlandia and the Hoita restaurant. We're in northwestern Ontario, on the shores of the Great Lake Superior in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So Thunder Bay is home to about 100 years of history of Finns in multiple generations. The bulk of the immigration into this area came in the early 1900s. Most of the people in this area that are Finnish heritage are probably second, third, fourth, fifth generation Finns. Originally, most of the immigration came here through people that were in traditional jobs, resource-based jobs like mining, forestry, fishing. That was the case definitely in the early 1900s. Moving into construction as the big grain elevators were built in Thunder Bay, and a lot of the infrastructure in the 1910s and 20s. And then the Finnish people here started working themselves into more of the white-collar jobs as well. And today, where it's fairly diversified, the Finnish imprint.
Today, the city bears many reminders of its rich Finnish heritage, including the Hoito restaurant, founded in 1918 by Finnish bushworkers as a place to buy a reasonably priced meal.
This building behind us, it really is the epicenter of all things Finnish, and probably even more so Finnish-Canadian, because it's a mashup of Finnish and Canadian cultures and has many things that are very unique to this area and to this building and to this city that you won't find anywhere else. The Hoito is world famous for its Finnish pancakes. It's a good example of a sort of a mashup of Finnish-style pancakes that are similar to the French crepes. Of course, in Finland, pancakes are not really a breakfast item. In Canada and the US, North America, pancakes are a breakfast item. So they're Finnish-style pancakes that have really transcended breakfast as well, and people like to have them any time of the day.
Inside, Pasi Pinta leads us to the kitchen, where the magic of the Hoito is revealed.
So here we are in the Hoito kitchen. This is where the magic happens. And here we are at the grill, and Judy's going to show us how the world-famous pancakes are made. So there's a nice mopping of butter that goes on our very hot grill, and our secret pancake batter, where all the good stuff goes on. It gets cooked very, very hot. There's a large amount of eggs, flour, milk is the primary constituents.
A little bit of salt.
A little bit of salt. I could tell you more, but then I'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
The Hoito has become known throughout the region for its cultural contributions to Thunder Bay. After more than 90 years in operation, the Hoito is still a hit.
Our busiest times are typically the weekends, and in the summertime, it's really any day during the summer holidays. Very busy for us. We typically have lineups that go right out the door and into the street. People love these pancakes universally. They're amazing. They're thin. They're crisp, and they take the flavors of condiments, whether they're regular syrup, maple syrup, which we also have, fruit sauces, ice cream, whipped cream. They're amazing, and they're just wonderfully delicious.
Heading east from Thunder Bay, we leave civilization behind on a journey through the harsh Canadian Shield. Just inland from Lake Superior, Cavern Lake Provincial Nature Reserve is a stunning sight. It features a massive Rocky Canyon outcrop, a rugged Northern Ontario landmark. The landscape is lined by boreal forest, aspen, spruce, and jack pine, with Arctic alpine flora lining the canyon floor. Not far away, Wilmette Canyon is another rocky landmark. It boasts a massive gorge measuring 100 meters deep, 150 meters wide, and 2 kilometers long. Scientists believe the canyon was formed by moving glaciers, or by the incredible weight of the water released during their retreat. The canyon and the nature reserve are all part of the Canadian Shield, a massive region of exposed Precambrian igneous rock dating back 4.5 billion years. The shield stretches from the Arctic through Ontario into Quebec to the northern reaches of the United States. In total, the Canadian Shield covers more than 8 million square kilometers. This remote, stunning landscape is mostly uninhabited. But it is also home to some of the richest mineral grounds in the world.
My name is Stephen Luckenrook. We're in the Thunder Bay Amethyst Mine, as it once was called. It's now called Amethyst Mine Panorama. It's located in Shunia Township, which is near Thunder Bay, in northwestern Ontario, in the Canadian Shield. I like to say that there's nothing between our mine here and the Arctic Ocean up in Hudson Bay. It stretches for hundreds of miles on all sides of us.
Steve Luckenrook is 86 years old. He has been operating an amethyst mine in these hills since 1981. The mine was discovered decades earlier during construction of a fire tower. Further inspection revealed rich amethyst reserves.
It's 1,000 feet long, it's 50 feet deep in one section, it tongues up to 0. It's 80% usable amethyst inside. An amethyst is a semi-precious gemstone. It's known throughout the world. It's one of the more important stones, gemstones, just below the value of diamond. It occurs in faults and veins. The structure of the amethyst is that it's a form of quartz. It's an offshoot of quartz. It has the purple color, by virtue of the fact that in its structure it was slightly changed, and the iron made the change, and it's iron that imparts it with its purple color.
Luckenook has worked in mines through much of his life. Today, he continues to survey the mine floor in search of gems within.
The amethyst is mined. We do use dynamite. We use water. Then it's lightly cracked. The high pressure water finishes the cracking. Then we very slowly and carefully work with our hands, with bars, with our fingers, and segregate out the high quality material. It's very difficult to determine the high quality material, but after being here for quite a few years, we think we're right now pretty good with it.
Steve and his team conduct a process that identifies amethyst and separates the finds according to their value.
It's kind of a military secret, but not really. In the mine process, it comes out in tank trays, which are huge steel pallets, something you might call them. They're graded here by Andy, who's right here close to us doing it right now, and then he separates them out. Then they go to the second stage, which I sort of look after, Andy looks after, and we break it down into the material that will be carved. We are able to make fashion jewelry, and we've lately been able to facet stones. Facet is to making a stone for a ring, and we do them quite well. We've trained our own people. We're one of the few people in the country that do it. And then we go down the grades. The tumbling stone, the other stone that we can't use, and the stone that would be packeted just as it is.
The yard surrounding the facility is a popular site for visitors, drawing thousands of tourists each year.
The material that's left over is put in a picking area for the tourists. They do very well. Customers are basically people with an interest in traveling. That's the prime one. I would think Minnesota and Wisconsin, which are the nearby states, Minneapolis and Duluth, are something around 30% of our customers. Manitoba is about 10%. Quebec is about 5%, and the rest comes from local and southern Ontario.
Luckenook believes the mine is the largest of its kind in North America. He is a proud resident of Northern Ontario and believes amethysts have a strong future in the region.
Oh, the future is tops. We've had people from the controlling group in California, the GIA, who are virtually control the gemstones of the world. They've had gemstones from us. They've been here, they've sent us their work, and we've got a top quality product. We've got some off-color material. We've got green amethyst, one of 3 places in the world. I'm interested in Northern Ontario. Our family was one of the first families in the area. My mother was, believe it or not, was the first white woman in the Hudson-Sioux Lookout area when the CN Railway was being built through the Shield. And I got interested in forestry and then got interested in mining. And in retirement, this looked like a good bet. It is now, but there's some pretty tough times, I can tell you.
Back to the Lake Superior shoreline, we soar high above the rare communities lining this coast. The township of Nipigan lies at the intersection of the Nipigan River and Nipigan Bay. It is a forestry, fishing, and tourism town, and a stop for long-distance travelers on the adjacent Trans-Canada Highway. Five kilometers south, the township of Red Rock is home to just under 1,000 people. Red Rock was established in the early 20th century and grew with the construction of a paper mill in the 1930s. A decade later, Red Rock would hold the unique distinction of being the site of a prison camp for German soldiers during the Second World War. Today, the township boasts an annual music festival, drawing in tourists keen to experience the beauty of Lake Superior. "50 kilometers southeast and 13 kilometers offshore, the Slate Islands are a remote wonder. They are an archipelago, more than a dozen islands and tiny islets. Some believe the Slate Islands were formed by volcanic activity, while others say they are the eroded peak of a 32-kilometer-wide meteorite that landed here more than 400 million years ago. The islands were once the site of logging and mining operations, Today, they are eerily quiet. In 1903, a lighthouse was built to guide mariners to the nearby community of Jackfish. The light station rises 68 meters, the tallest lighthouse on Lake Superior. Back to the mainland, the Superior shoreline stretches as far as the eye can see. This is the largest freshwater lake in the world. It is fed by more than 200 rivers, covering an incredible 82,000 square kilometers. Lake Superior has a maximum depth of just over 400 meters and holds 12,000 cubic kilometers of water. Further east, just beyond the town of Marathon, we reach one of the natural gems of the Superior shoreline, Pakawan National Park.
My name is Duncan Machado. I'm a Technical Services Officer for Pakawan National Park. Pakawan National Park is on the northeastern shore of Lake Superior. Pakawan is the only untouched piece of wilderness between Thunder Bay and Sault Ste. Marie. There's no roads. The only access is by foot or by boat.
The Pakawan region has been a national park since 1978. But for Duncan Machado, this has always been home. He is a member of the Nishnawbe or Ojibwe First Nations, who have resided here for thousands of years.
We just came out of the Manitou-Mi'kmaq Trail. Manitou-Mi'kmaq means spirit trail in the Nishnawbe language. And I guess the spirit is something that Lake Superior holds in all the Nishnawbe people's hearts, I guess. In that direction is Pick Island, in that direction Thunder Bay, in that direction Duluth, in that direction the Keweenaw Peninsula, and over there Sault Ste. Marie. Okay, the beach we're looking at there now is at the mouth of the Pick River. There's archaeological evidence that the Nishnawbe people have lived there for at least about 5,000 years. When we were kids, we used to spend most of our time there swimming and playing in those sand dunes. And on the weekends, on a Saturday and Sunday, you'd see smoke rising from campfires all along that beach when we were kids. So it has been home to our people.
Thanks to Pakawan's national park status, the region is now explored by visitors from all over the world. Michano says the combination of scenery, seclusion, and natural life makes this a prime destination.
The plant life you see around here is typical boreal forest, spruce, jack pine, tamarack, birch, poplar. But there's also a lot of Arctic alpine plants in the park also. Because of the climate moderation by Lake Superior, a lot of the plants we find along the coast, you'll find only in the Arctic. One of the prime attractions is that 60-mile coastal hiking trail that's just behind me here. I think people are coming to see the scenery and trying to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city life. A lot of our people that come here are from the greater Toronto area, the GTA. There are a lot of Americans, a lot of Dutch, a lot of Germans, and I think they're looking for a wilderness experience. That's why they come here. From the Anishinaabeg's perspective, that land that we now call Pakawan National Park is never developed, because with all the development around, particularly with forestry and logging and a lot of mining, you look at the aerial photos and you'll see all the development surrounding that park, and I think it's important for the Anishinaabeg people that land never does get developed, that it stays in its natural state forever.
From the isolated American exclave known as the Northwest Angle, to the pristine lakes and rivers of the Voyageurs Highway, to the incredible rock faces of the Canadian Shield, the world's greatest lake is a journey through time and natural splendor. With a past rooted in rugged exploration, and a life built on vast natural resources, Lake Superior is where all things ancient are revealed. A timeless treasure, here on the edge of Canada.